State Department is issuing a warning to any foreign nationals who are praising Charlie Kirk's assassination. Your visa could be revoked. This comes as the Trump administration has cracked down on immigration and strengthened the vetting process of who is allowed into our country. Deputy Executive Director at the National Security Institute and former Senior State Department Advisor, Martha Miller, joins us now to talk about this. Thank you for giving us your time on this Saturday. We appreciate it. Your thoughts on this announcement, essentially, from the State Department? Does it make sense to say if you are pro-political assassination and you are a foreigner, you have to leave the country?
I think there's always a balance to be had with the First Amendment. Obviously, the First Amendment offers broad protections, not just for American citizens, but foreigners on our soil. At the same time, there are even limits for American citizens, starting with incitement to violence, defamation, and direct threats. Visas are not a right given to foreign nationals. It is a privilege that is granted by the U.S. Department of State, and the State Department does have broad authorities to curb, revoke, deny those visa requests. I think it comes down to common sense. And if I could take a step back here, Governor Cox pointed out in his remarks, and I agree, that this is a concern. He pointed out that there are concerns about malign influence from our adversaries who want to see us fighting against one another. And I think, there's a long history of adversaries doing this to undermine the United States, to undermine our unity as a nation, going back to Soviet active measures. And what the internet has allowed to do, what social media has allowed them to do, and now even further with AI, now they are able to do this at large scale. And there are incidents, including, I think it was in 2016, where they had fake organizations. They got two competing groups to protest one another in Texas. One was kind of an anti-Islamic group, and the other, some other organization that was, pro-American, and that was directly, a Russian operation. So it's not, I think, unreasonable to signal, at a minimum, to foreign nationals who have the privilege of being in our country that we don't appreciate, exploiting our freedom of speech, pitting us against one another. But at the same time, this is also, they can only exploit this if we allow it. And so this comes back to introspection as a society and as individuals. And I think, I really liked how Governor Cox, talked about this, in his interviews, the one I think with Brett Barry yesterday. And I think, really pointing out that we have to kind of police ourselves in the sense, and not jump to conclusions and not engage in the hatred that is unfortunately all too common in social media.
Martha, I had that one question for you, and honestly, your answer was absolutely phenomenal, and you covered so many great points that I didn't want to interrupt you, and I think we've almost ran out of time, but I want to give you 1 second to just offer a final thought on this. The Deputy Secretary of State, Christopher Lando, said that please feel free to bring such comments by foreigners that are celebrating the assassination of a leading political figure to their attention so the State Department can protect the American people. Just quickly, your final thoughts.
Yeah, I remember after 9/11, we, those of us who are old enough to remember, there was see something, say something, because I think at the time we recognized that there were some odd behaviors, and I think it's in the American culture, and it's a good thing in the American culture that we always have been sort of a live and let live society, and that's a beautiful thing. And I think that's the kind of freedom that we all aspire to and celebrate as Americans. At the same time, we do have to be vigilant if we are seeing signs of malign influence. Look, it's always a delicate balance.
See something, say something. I said, see something, say something. Martha Miller, thank you. Thank you very much for joining us. We greatly appreciate it.